And we're back in Boulder City, Nevada at Tom Devlin's Monster Museum. A museum I've filmed in more times than maybe any other. For the very good reason that it's never boring, because there is always something new to see. We're only about 30 minutes from the Las Vegas Strip. And if you're into weird roadside attractions or monster movies, or you just need a break from the mundane or the casinos over there, this is the day trip for you. Now, I've been out here in Boulder City the past couple days because next door in the building where Tom has his seasonal haunts, they've been filming a monster movie, a punk rock vampire monster movie called The After Dark for Tom's new motion picture company, Plan 10 Pictures. I think this is the third or fourth Tom Devlin horror movie that I've been in, and it's about time Tom started cranking out his own low-budget films, because after all, my buddy Tom out here is known as the king of the B movies. He's worked on everything from big-budget movies like Terminator 3 to things you probably never heard of, like Poultrygeist and Sasquatch, doing makeup and making monsters. And in true DIY spirit, when he got to Boulder City, Nevada, he decided to open up his own monster museum, and look at this. It looks completely different than the last time I was here. And this is just the lobby. When I walked in here yesterday, I thought I was in the wrong building for a second. Dude, look at this. I don't know if you can tell, but everything is different than it used to be. You enter the museum in a completely different spot. There's a whole different, much darker, creepier dungeon theme going on here. There's effects lighting. But I do love that they keep reusing all these various different doors that have been successive Monster Museum entrances. And check this out. As you make your way into the museum proper, in fact, into the very chamber that holds two of my favorite monsters, look at the walls. Do they look familiar to you? They do to me. Because these castle walls here behind the mummy are the very same ones from our booth last year at Midsummer Scream. And there's a little Easter egg back here, because if you look behind the walls, you can see my Frankenstein stencil. Oh, and my Beware stencil. You can see our tagging back here. There's even some fake Tyler graffiti. Dude, this museum is radical, and we haven't seen anything yet. Each one of these giant props was sculpted and put here by Tom Devlin himself. And I'm sorry if some of you have seen this before and I'm repeating some of this information, but one thing that isn't being repeated is the look, feel, and layout of the Monster Museum. Even if you've been here before, you gotta come back again, because it is weird. Coming through in a completely different direction, in a different order, it's very disorienting. It's like you're in a dream, right, Freddy? Don't talk to me. You got a little George Romero display over here. A little Freddy Krueger action. Ow! And then check this out. Robert Z'Dar from Maniac Cop, Ash from Evil Dead 2, Texas Chainsaw Massacre Mania. So many leather faces. He's been a busy little bee. The one thing that's still the same is the Michael Myers house right here, and you used to enter from behind it and then turn around for the reveal. Now Mike is staring you straight in the face. Me no likey Mikey, but Mikey likey me. We'd be buddies if Mikey didn't also like Stabby. Oh, it's creepy when you hear something make noise in here. All right, say goodbye to Chucky. We're moving on. We're going across the bridge that used to lead to Camp Crystal Lake. Ooh, look at this. Behind the Mask, the rise of Leslie Vernon. Not familiar with that one. It's kind of the cool thing about Tom's place. Every time I come, he has something new, and I'm learning about a new movie I haven't seen before. Is this still a trick floor? No, I think we're good. I used to see Jason Voorhees peering at you on this bridge, if I remember correctly. Actually, you can go back and confirm it by watching the older episodes here at the Monster Museum. Look at this guy. See, these are all films I've never seen before. You're not Jason Voorhees. You're a phony. Don't worry, gang. If you were looking for Jason, you won't be disappointed. Here he is. This isn't all. Because if you're a Friday the 13th fan, Tom has taken it up a notch in the Friday the 13th room. Jason? Oh my gosh, would you look at the size of that Jason collection? Dude, Friday the 13th Part 2. That's him once he gets the bag pulled off his head. A true horror classic, Part 2. Friday the 13th actually are like some of the earliest horror movies I ever saw when I was old enough to go and rent my own movies from Blockbuster. Because when I was a little kid, that was sort of the golden age of the Friday the 13th movies. So every Halloween, we'd watch all of them. Part 3, Part 4, Part 5. Look at that. Tom's got some signed masks. I think that says C.J. Graham. He was Jason in part 6. Then you've got Kane Hodder from part 7 onwards. Oh, and then there's Tom Morga. He's played Jason and Michael Myers. Look at this. What I really appreciate is they actually have a part 8 Jason Takes Manhattan version right here. You never see Jason Takes Manhattan get any love. And same thing with Jason X. Jason Goes to Space. This is where everybody thinks they jumped the shark here. Didn't the poster say, evil gets an upgrade? Well, the franchise got to downgrade a little. But if you're a fan of the series, as corny as they are now, you're going to be stoked on this room and all the versions of Jason that Tom has created. Over here in the corner, we got Ghosty Face, a little Wes Craven action. And then we've got the Spider Gremlin from Gremlins 2. I happen to know that Tom didn't sculpt this one, but I believe it is a screen-used prop. Look at that thing. Who doesn't love a good Gremlins movie? Dude, it's so freaky and weird. Whenever actual live human beings come in here. I mean, when you're in this place, you're already constantly going, over your shoulder. There's just enough mirrors and things that walking around kind of gives you the illusion that something's moving over your shoulder. So when actual people show up, and there are several, it really makes you jump. It makes you jump. Christopher Lloyd? The funny part is, look at this. The Hills Have Eyes. The original Hills Have Eyes. I found the filming location from that movie, which was not an easy task, believe me. If you've already seen this movie, definitely check that episode out. If you haven't, well, let's just say, not only is parental guidance necessary, but even you grown-ups might want to call your parents and see if it's okay for you to watch that one. All right, we got to pick up the pace a little bit here, because I have filmed the museum what moved? Did you hear that? Many times before. And this back corner has probably changed the least since I've been here. They moved Pennywise back here. You got your killer clowns from outer space. I believe Tom sculpted the masks that are now sold everywhere. Then you got a little Ghoulie from Ghoulies 2. I actually have not seen that one. And then an entire gigantinormous cabinet of curiosities with tons of screen-used props, many of them built by old Tommy Devlin himself, including, of course, what's left of the General Chicken Monster from Poultrygeist. And now, where the old Poultrygeist costume used to be is one of Tom's own creations. It's Teddy from Teddy Told Me To, the first movie Tom directed, which I'm in. It hasn't got its full wide release yet, and again, I didn't make the movie, so don't blame me that it's not family friendly. It's a parental guidance necessary movie. But I am in the film. Look, I'm even on the plaque. In fact, since I appeared in that movie, Tom has made 3 other movies, including the one that I was working on last night with them. And it's awesome that so many of the same cast members keep coming back. It feels like a little family. Tom's weird motley crew of misfits. All right, we've come full circle. We started with Frankenstein and the Mummy, and now we're coming back to the Wolfman. A little Lon Chaney Jr. action. We've got the creature from the Black Lagoon. We've got Eddie Munster and Herman Munster, and a light used on the set of the Munsters, donated to the museum by moi. Yes, that's right. I donated that thing. I'm very generous like that. Mostly, I just love this place. And I think I've shown you enough that you can see why. All right, we've got a critter from Critters 2, Lon Chaney Sr. as the Hunchback of Notre Dame, and, of course, Phantom of the Opera, both of which I believe are this year 100 years old. Dude, that's 100 years of monster movies now. And speaking of 100 years, as we make our way into the theater over here, which didn't used to be part of the museum, last year this guy turned 100 years old. It's Nosferatu! That's Shrek. That's Count Orlok. And then this is awesome in here. The theater that they used to use for special occasions and special screenings is now showing you all this great information about makeup in the movies and monster effects. You can come here just to see the freak show in there, all the monsters and stuff, or you could come here to learn, and if you do that, you could learn a thing or two. In fact, at various times, Tom has even taught makeup and monster effects skills, prop making and stuff like that. But let's not get him sucked back into that, because I like him as a movie maker. It's pretty awesome. He took that whole DIY thing after building his own DIY roadside attraction and took it to the next level by making his own monster movies from scratch. All right, this is the exit to the museum now, but you know what? I'm not going to go this way. I think I'm going to go backwards just to take another gander. Pardon me, Beetlejuice. Creature. Live humans. Killer clowns. Ghoulies. Man. sir. Oh, pardon me, Pennywise. Oh, Mr. Leprechaun. Julio. Julio? Julio, what in the heck are you doing here? Oh, that's a good point. I didn't even think of that. And you've been on set all week? I didn't know you've been in all the films Tom's directed. Huh. A little Easter egg to look for. Julio! Come on, Julio. Let's get out of here. This leprechaun has been staring at me for a while, and I'm starting to feel chicken. If there's one thing I know, it's you can't keep Julio away from a good monster museum. All right, back to the Landship Enterprise, but we're not going back to California just yet, because there's another attraction in Boulder City that I have never seen that I want to at least poke my nose into today. I've just never checked it out before because it closes much earlier than the Monster Museum, for example. So even today when I'm up super early because I had to get out of the hotel over there, I'm still showing up pretty much just before closing. It's the Nevada State Railroad Museum, Boulder City, and it's literally right behind the Monster Museum, and I've never had a chance to come over and visit. Mostly because they close at 3 p.m. every day. Finally, I'm up and around early enough to check it out. I was just gonna come check it out without showing you guys because I like to know a little bit about a place before I film it usually. But I figure, what the heck? We might as well check it out. We might as well explore together. Spoiler alert though, I am not an expert. I don't know much about trains at all. I guess you could say I'm still in training. I still don't know what one of these pumpy thingies called. I don't know how many times I've been told, but I keep forgetting. However, there's one thing I do know, and that's that I love a good caboose. So this should be a hoot. Dude, look at these things. Look at the size of that machinery right there. These things are gargantuan. Just the boiler on this old steam engine is longer than my van. And every time I see one of these things, I'm always shocked at just how old they are. Now this is another thing I never knew until I showed up today. It's free just to walk around and check the trains out. You only have to pay to ride on the trains when they're in operation out here. And those train excursions only cost $10 when they're happening. The rest of it, during operating hours, is free. So you can come out and buy a ticket to the Monster Museum and then hop over here and check out the trains for a free twofer. Dude, it's weird how most of the cabooses I run across are yellow. I always think of cabooses being red. And that's when I realized just how much I learned about life from cartoons. All right, Union Pacific caboose number 3505. We're gonna go inside. Look at this. We're gonna come experience life in the caboose. Oh, as my friend Wade would say, don't threaten me with a good time. The stairs here into the doorway, and look at this. Couple of throw pillows, a TV news reporter. What do you think? Dude, this thing was built in 1882. See what I mean? They're always so much older than you think they're gonna be. And you can think of the caboose as sort of the headquarters of the train back in those days. The train men would use this as office, bedroom, toilet. Oh, that's right. Back in that room back over there is the John. This is where they'd make their coffee. They had a little stove in here, their spittoon. They kept all their food in here. Ooh, I wonder if they left any behind. No, just dirt. And I believe, let me climb up here, that the caboose is also where the brakemen used to hang out back in the days where the train needed a human being to physically climb on top and stop it with a big brake. I like it just for the views. You could climb up here, take a little rest, take a little nap, and look out the windows and see the whole train and get a 360-degree view of the Old West, which these horseless carriages used to ride all over. I know your history. Very good. All right, time to get down. Caboose! Caboose! My caboose is on the loose! Caboose! Caboose! My caboose is on the loose! I told you, I love a good caboose. Check it out. Look across the way there at that fancy car. So many things to look at over here. One of my favorite things about cabooses. Caboose-side? Caboosey? What's the plural of caboose? Is that you can climb up inside. That's usually not the case anymore with the engines at railroad museums. When I was a kid, virtually any old locomotive you'd be able to climb all over. But these days, there's a lot of these signs around the country. I don't know if it's just that the equipment is getting older, like this locomotive was built in 1907, or if enough people just fell off of them that there were too many lawsuits. I have no idea. But I guess in the name of preserving history, we'll have to resist our urge to climb aboard. Dude, look at this old baggage car right here, this old baggage cart. You would take everybody's luggage and unload it off the train up there. That's why it's so high off the ground. And then take this thing, roll it up the station's platform. This is crazy. This looks like this is the postal car because look at that. Railway post office. There's even a mail slot on the train itself. You could send a letter to Santa. Looks like a lot of these things you can enter, maybe when they have busier days and more staff to watch the equipment. There's still a surprising number of things you can enter today for free, like the mail car itself. This is how mail got around the Old West. Dude, look how old school looking this train is right here. This is incredible. Wow, I did not know this. The railway post office survived until 1977. They were using these things up till the year Star Wars hit theaters. That is wild. I guess if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? They got the scale, they got the mail slots back there, the big bags they hang on the poles of the cartoon. You can throw Pluto in there. That's always what I think of every time I see an old school train. I just think of Mickey Mouse. Watch your step, watch your step. Look at this little guy. A 30-ton Davenport Dinky, it says. A lot smaller than some of the other ones. Whoa, this one is from those old abandoned tracks that are now that railroad trail by the Hoover Dam. I think, if I'm reading this correctly. That is crazy. And it was used until the 60s. This is why I like popping into museums on the random. So much to learn that you never knew before. There's not enough time. I feel like I'm already 40 and I barely know anything. Look at this gratitude train. This is the Merci car. A gift to the people of Nevada, memorial to U.S. participation in World War II, and thanks for relief supplies donated after the war. Well, I don't live in Nevada, but on behalf of the rest of us who get to see it, thanks, France! Or should I say, merci beaucoup. Je ne parle pas français. Je ne comprends pas. Ooh, oui, it's the Jackass and Western, which used to connect the nuclear test site and the nuclear rocket development station. Wait a minute, Doc. Are you telling me this sucker is nuclear? This is awesome. Apparently this one was involved in a little crash. So weird to think that this was a little nuclear rail line. Not that it was powered by nuclear. No. This sucker was diesel. Just that they had their own little rail line in the desert connecting nuclear facilities. And look at that seal. Energy Research and Development Administration, USA. I have never seen that before in my life. All right, well, that's the main display pavilion over there. Sorry I didn't know more about the trains at this moment. I am learning. This is crazy. Los Angeles and Salt Lake on this car. Never heard of the Los Angeles and Salt Lake Railroad. It looks like sometimes they have model train displays in here. Not today, friends, not today. I think today they're mostly getting ready for this weekend and the Bunny Express for Easter. I should note that it is a weekday while I'm here, so not everything is fully operational. The main action here happens on Saturdays and Sundays when they do the train excursions. So we're just poking around, being nosy. Look at this. Information. I'm learning so much. Information. All right, well, we've made it to the end of the line over here. Can't check out the train. They're doing a little work on it. But I did get a peek at a second caboose out here. Nice. And every day with the caboose viewing is a good day. I found out what they're doing today was some sort of fundraiser ride. That's why they're sort of half shut down here, because it's for the volunteers for the museum. So all the normal volunteers are all getting ready for their train excursion. I also found out that the regular train excursions are about 2 hours long, which is pretty good. Like, it's not just a little loop or a 1 or 2 mile deal. And I found out you can even pay a little extra for cab rides and sit up front in the front of the diesel locomotive for the excursions, which is pretty exciting. I gotta remember that the next time I'm in town on a weekend. I'm gonna get myself a little train ride. All right, well, I guess I should start dragging my bones back to California. We're gonna cross a lot of desert miles today. Wait a minute. Where's Julio? I haven't seen him for a chicken picking minute. I don't see him anywhere. Wait a minute, I see him. Oh, Julio. Julio, buddy, you can't go down there. They're not doing live steamers today. I'm not sure, but it probably only happens when there's volunteers and people running their trains out there. I guess holiday weekends, maybe something like that. Oh, I know, Julio. Just one more reason to come back. And don't worry, Julio, we will be back to Boulder City. I've got something on board the van that's going to guarantee that old Tom Devlin's going to put us in another movie. But I don't want to show you just yet. Wait till we're across the border. My thoughts exactly, old chum. All right, let's get out of here. Goodbye, Boulder City. See you next time. Well, we've made it back to California. At least as far as Baker, but we're over the border. Yes, home sweet home. Back over to good old Alien Fresh Jerky, which once upon a time looked nothing like this, but has now become maybe the most popular stop between Los Angeles and Las Vegas. Go back over the last 10 years of Randomland, you could see it grow a lot, but never with such a mammoth leap as it's done since we were here last. Because check this out behind the main building. Behold, bear witness that the UFO Hotel is finally taking shape. This has been a project underway for years, and I cannot wait to sleep here in Baker at this thing. I believe in the power of Alien Fresh Jerky and their vision. Seriously though, I want to be one of the first people to stay in this. Take me to the mothership. Beam me up. Ah, yes. Epic, dude. Epic. What's that, Julio? What do you mean we shouldn't joke around about it? Aliens aren't real. Julio, it's a harmless UFO motel in the middle of the desert. What's the worst that could happen? This is so weird. He's not usually this chicken. Anyways, if Julio doesn't have any objections, now I can show you guys the reason Tom has to have me back for more movies. Tom, if you're listening, I don't know how to tell you this, but I'm a stealer. I stole. Last night as I was leaving the set, making my way to my van, I found a piece of the production materials, a piece of properage that had broken loose. You'll recognize this, Tom? This is one of your skulls. It's a piece of your screen-used props. A Plan 10 Productions prop. And you know what, Tom? You're never getting this back unless you put me, what? Yes, and Julio into your next film production. Tom, what do you think about that, Tom? Don't call it blackmail. Call it an incentive. And call it the perfect crime. You've got to invite me back now, Tom. What do you think about that, Tom? The plan is foolproof. Foolproof, I tell you, foolproof! And now that I've ensured our return to the movie business, my friends, that's really all I had left to do. If you're in the area, make sure to head on over to Tom Devlin's Monster Museum or visit Plan 10, that's the number 10, Pictures, all one word, on Instagram. To check out news about Tom's flicks, visit all my links down below in the description where you can get some sick merch, including 10th anniversary Randomland shirts, and sometimes vlog shirts, and sick hats, and so much more. Oh. And then, like me, you'll have done your duty. And now we can go home and sleep well. Please fasten your seatbelt and relax. There's nothing to worry about. It's just a roadside attraction. Now let's get out of here. If you're in the area, head on over. Oh, wow, that was very not smooth. Okay. If you're in the area, head on over to the... Okay, hold on a second. There we go. If you're in the area... Nope. Okay, hold on. Dang it.